how long you been doing PT for, bro?
PT got my certs in 2020.
Yeah.
And actual PT on and off for 3 years, but full time for I guess 6 months or so. Full time.
How is it? You've been
Perfect. I love it.
It's nice, eh?
Yeah, best job ever.
I seen your Instagram, man. You've got
Yeah?
a lot of stories about jail. You've got a lot of PT motivation, like those motivational stories. You do a lot of boxing classes, eh?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing boxing for, bro?
On and off again, 8-9 years. Seriously, never probably. To be honest, no motivation to take it serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just more for fitness, eh?
Like when I'm there, I'm serious. When I'm with my coach, PT with my coach, I'm serious. When I do my classes, I'm serious. When I'm coaching the boys, I'm serious. But me, never no aspirations to go amateur, pro, nothing. When I did, I don't know, I wasn't really serious. I'm serious, but never really, to be honest. Other stuff, I want to make money, got other goals in life, family. Yeah. I was never one of the boys. I'm humble enough to say I'm not like the other boys that take it serious. They running every single morning. They're with the coach 5-6 days a week, doing everything, all extras, everything. I'm humble enough to say that not me. I wasn't doing the runs. I wasn't doing everything I need to do to make it amateurs, even pros. It's not easy.
No, it's not
easy at all.
But it's good, man.
I was doing my PTs in my classes, learning a lot, watching a lot. I did get all right. I can go right in the ring, but no, not on the level of pros and probably even amateurs.
Yeah, it's a different level, man.
It is for
just
sure.
for fitness wise, bro. It's the best,
it's good
man.
for fitness.
It's the best for your mental health.
100%.
It's really good.
You know what I mean? Any kind of fitness is good for your mental health, man.
Yeah.
When you go to the gym or anything, you feel better when you walk out, even if you don't want to go.
100%. That's the battle. That's half the battle. Not wanting to go, and then you go.
When you can't be
Exactly.
fucked, and you go, and you're looking at the gym door, and you're like, man, fuck. And then when you go in, and then when you come back out, you're like, fuck. You feel nice and sharp.
100%. It's a mental, especially for men. From ages 20, 25, 30. Even 35, all ages of men.
Yeah, all ages, bro.
It's a battle going there, but once you're there, 10 other battles going on in your own head, even externally, all the other boys training, the coach, and then you leave the gym, it's a whole other dynamic too. You left the gym, are you calm? Are you frazzled? Did you learn a lot? Did you not learn? Are you doing it yourself? It's something that you can take day-to-day life, Just going to the gym, something as simple as that.
It humbles you, bro.
100%, it does.
Not even just that, man. A lot of the issues that people are having now, especially like men, all this mental health stuff, fitness fixes a lot of shit, man.
It does, 100%.
You know what I mean? Just looking good, fucking, just makes you feel good. You get confident.
Yeah.
You don't feel lazy. There's a lot of stuff, man.
Bro, mental health is a weakness, right? It's a mental weakness. So when you go and train and do the hard yards, that's actually creating mental toughness. So it makes you more resilient.
100%.
That's what it does.
I don't want to ruffle feathers, but it's used these days for everything.
Yeah.
It's an escape. It's like a victim's mentality, man. It's real, but for me, mental health is more like someone with PTSD, someone that's come back from war, seen something like. Here, everyone uses an excuse now to just run away from shit, man.
Yeah, it's true. That's because society's made it like that.
Yeah, too soft.
Society's made it like
that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
When you got the mentality of just get on with it. Just get it done. Get on with it. That's that
toughness.
mentality, yeah? That's a mental toughness. If you sit there and make an excuse for everything, and then it's going to be like, oh, it's not fair this and it's not fair that, and start feeling sorry for yourself, that's when it really affects you.
It's like a rough upbringing, man.
Yeah.
When you have similar to a rough upbringing, you're usually stronger mentally.
100%.
If you've been silver spoon fed your whole life, you break down in.
Because why would they be tough? Why they need to be tough? If you're spoon fed, if you grow up in certain areas, certain upbringing, certain parents, why would you, as a human, as a teenager, young adult, why would you need to be tough? Why would you need to be disciplined? You don't need to. You can thrive, survive. You can get a job. That's
it's
what
all
I
handed
think.
to you.
Exactly. So you can't have a souk. I say to my clients all the time, you can't have a souk. You're not having a chicken dinner if you don't go out to the shops and buy chicken or do your thing. You don't make nothing, so you can't have a souk that you don't have a chicken dinner on a plate. Same thing. You can't have a souk. You don't have the results if you didn't put in the work for it.
Put in the work. That's
Same
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Similar thing. Similar. Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
You had a bit of a rough upbringing.
We all did, I think.
Yeah. You did as well, bro. What area again?
Pirong.
Yeah, it's not double baby.
I assume you're like first, second generation Australians, eh?
Yeah.
I think probably I'd say good, maybe 90% would be a bit different because grandfathers and great grandfathers and parents, and they came from a different place.
Yeah.
So it's very relatable. Even it might be different, many things overlap, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that our parents were never home because they had to go out there and work and earn that living because they've come from another country. You can imagine they had to start from scratch. They didn't own a property.
Nothing,
they own nothing.
Yeah.
So just as a child growing up with, you know, one parent at work, the other one comes home, the other parent's not there, and just that alone now, a lot of kids don't experience that.
On top of the fact where they came from, on top of, you know, maybe some war-torn countries, maybe some hard poverty, like not as fortunate. Even if it's not poverty, it might just be they don't have certain facilities at home, certain environments. They grew up in gangs, whatever, drugs, certain stuff. Yeah. On top of the fact they're coming here with nothing and they have to work so hard, and they come usually from hardworking families back home, and they come here, they just have that same hardworking mentality, but they still got 2-3 kids. So there is a certain like lacking that we feel as the children, but as well you've got to understand they're trying their best, they're doing their best from what they know.
See, that's the thing, right?
It's a great dynamic to it, you know, especially when you have kids ourselves. You have kids?
Yeah, I've got kids.
See, like with what do you call it? Like, especially with our parents that come overseas, they're usually hardworking people. So like the men are strong men, they work hard. You know what I mean? They got to go through the trenches. What happens is now, but sometimes the parents make mistakes because they've been through a tough life. They're going to give the kid whatever they want, so that kid becomes a bit spoiled and becomes soft. Yeah, and then you see that mistake. Sometimes you see like a dad, he looks tough. The son looks like a fucking pussy. You know what I mean? I think that's a mistake a lot of people from overseas do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because why do they work hard? What's the point of them working hard?
To give their kids a good life. I think they forget on the way that they should teach them. Yeah, it's
that just comes from bad fatherhood. Like, not bad, but not the best fatherhood. Even giving kids everything and not teaching them certain stuff, that's just bad fatherhood. But if you think about it, that's probably like a big majority of fathers not good fathers. It is they too. Yeah. So that's just another shortcoming on adults. When do you meet great adults? Rarely.
Yeah.
The first generation that came here, you can't blame too much, only because they've come here. They don't know the culture here. They don't know, how everything works here. They don't know any of that. So all they're thinking is, I'm going to go work hard. I'm going to give my kids a good life. We're in a better country. We're in a first world country. They're going to get what they want, and they're going to grow up. They're going to go to school. They're going to go and learn. They're going to go become something, right? If you go to a third world country, everybody puts their studies first. The only time that they're out there working is because they're forced to go and work to help their family because they're not doing well, right? You come here, we take that shit for granted. Us as students here, kids, they take it for granted. It's free schooling, it's whatever, it's all that. We take it for granted. They would kill for the opportunity back home that we have here.
Yeah, to be there, yeah.
So our parents brought us up in a way where they expected us to be thinking the same way as they did when they were kids living back home. But the environment here is different.
Yeah, it's very different, man.
So if you think about it, why do the kids take it for granted? That comes from our parents' fault.
That's true.
Because there are parents, the kids don't take it for granted. Because, you know, it's rare. I'm not saying it's a majority, minority. But there are kids out there. Maybe not in Western Sydney, maybe different where you go. But that just comes from our parents' flaw. You know, whether it's mum, dad, whatever.
It's true.
You can raise kids that are grateful. It's possible.
Absolutely. But
it's not easy.
I got my ass kicked for not going to school sometimes. I got my ass kicked for that shit.
Yeah.
Every time I had a bad result in an exam or something like that, I got my ass kicked for it. And I'd get the same talk, I'd get the same beating, I'd get whatever it is, but sometimes you just can't get through it. We can't comprehend how hard it is back there because of how easy we have it here.
Yeah.
It's just, we just cannot comprehend it.
We can't, if we don't have the facilities and the environment and the parents around us teaching us and showing us the right way, it's impossible. How can we, as kids, as immature, developing kids?
You know what's one people that are very hard working until now and they're strict on their kids? Chinese people, Asians. My neighbour, I hear it's like a 7-year-old kid's playing violin and shit.
Very true. I've seen that myself.
They're so disciplined, man.
How good's that?
That's their culture, but it's a culture.
Yeah, it's very tough, man.
Yeah, that is their culture.
They don't baby their kids. You got to do the hard yards no matter what.
That's good.
And you see, that's why they're running the world, bro.
But you see the results.
Yeah, look at the results, man.
It's funny that fine line, but too, you know, they might see some kids overachieving in academics or arts or whatever it may be. But are these kids, are they there when their parents are old and when taking care of their parents, are they have that relationship and you can go to them when times are tough? And
that's true.
You got to find that fine line. That's no matter what culture, that's the battle as us as parents. We've got to foster that.
You know, in China, bro, they've got a law that you have to look after your parents.
Really?
Yeah. You have to see
That's
them once a
crazy.
week.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I think
You
it should
have
be a
to.
law everywhere.
Yeah, you have to see them once or twice a week.
Wow.
Yeah, or you get a
But
fine.
would you say that's like that is like a safeguard for the parents to treat them however they want to treat them?
I think it's
and
like a
that forces
lesson.
them to.
100%.
Is that the best way? But it's doing much natural, organic for your kids to just want to, rather than it's illegal.
Look over here. How many people look after their parents? Here, retirement
It's
homes
less,
are
for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
retirement homes.
I would
are-
prefer it that way than how we've got it.
'Cause
Organic
sometimes
compared
humans
to
are-
forced. You say your own kids. Would you want it organic? They would just want to, or it's a law that they must take care of
Okay,
you.
so I truly believe that a kid doesn't know any better when it comes to his parents, or he only knows to an extent when it comes to his parents. The only time he'll understand is when they have children of their own.
Yes.
So having that as a law, I mean, I guess that after a while, once you have kids and start to feel what your parents felt, then you'll understand why that law.
Yeah, the law doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
But if they're adults with kids, wouldn't it be nice just to be organically feel like
100%.
wanting to take care of your parents that don't need a
Of
law?
course,
Like you don't want a
of
law
course,
to
yeah.
force people to. I wouldn't. For me personally, I don't want a law.
I agree.
Like that behind, even if my son, even if he's organic, even if he wants to take care of me, his mum and everything, I wouldn't want my son to feel like even a tiny bit that he must. You know what I mean? You'd rather have it organic or nice because it is possible for us as parents to do that for them.
That
To
is
foster
true.
that. It is possible.
That is true, but
it might be
even,
hard.
Even
but-
if you look at it like people's faiths make them feel like they must as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
Imagine the dad over there, if he goes, son, if you don't come today, look after me, I want to take you to court.
Hey, it might happen in China. But
Imagine-
it probably
it could
does.
happen in China,
It
eh?
probably does, most likely.
I'm going to sue you, motherfucker. if you don't come and change
I
my
guarantee
nappy.
there is at least one case in China.
imagine?
Yeah, guarantee.
Yeah,
there
but
is.
there has to be.
100%, Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
There's a billion of them. Could you imagine that?
Wow.
If you don't come and change my shoes, watch what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Call the cops on you.
but as a result, what do you get? You go, look, forget about how it gets to that, but as a result, what do you get?
Yeah,
The final-
society. Look,
As a result,
look after
the
your parents.
society thrives. So the actual
But that's
society
the definition of
thrives.
thriving. What's the definition? Everyone's definition of thriving may be different. Your definition, their definition. It's a touchy subject, you know, because
Yeah.
That's a
someone's
good point.
definition of thrive is very different to someone else's. China's
true.
political leaders maybe different. Their definition of thriving compared to some Jamaican black in the village in Jamaica. You know,
Yeah,
that's
I
very
understand.
extreme examples. Like
I get you. I
but-
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what
That's a
you're
good point. But like, see, with like, I think it's in their culture anyway, man. I think
It is-
they've put
it
the
is,
law
definitely.
there to know that you recognize your parents. But I think naturally Chinese people, because you see a lot of people like
Even Japan, China, Japan, East
they're
Asia.
always
it
with
is-
their parents.
I've actually talked about this with another client a couple of weeks ago, saying East Asia, there's something in their culture that I admire, you know, and respect. You know, things like honor, things like respect to elders, things like prioritizing intelligence, academics, even mastering skills. It doesn't matter what it is. Mastering a skill, all that stuff is in their culture from a young age. We don't see it in many cultures that we see in Australia today. Like,
Same as Southeast Asians.
yeah.
They're the same like that. They all live
Mastering
together.
a skill represents.
Well, you see them here now. Like they haven't been here for long. Like compared to the Chinese, go look at the real estate
Yeah.
market. They're fucking taking over.
but if you look at
It's in the culture. It's in the culture to own land, to own businesses.
Own lands,
to
live together.
yeah, but what does that?
But there's a trade-off. It's a trade-off, you know, because that is in the culture. Then you get the flaws that come with that, you know. But maybe some depending on the person as well. But there's always a trade-off. You gotta, as humans, as adults, we gotta analyze that trade-off. You know, you know, things like okay, my culture does have this, but that might make us more stressed, which might take away from our family, our kids.
Yeah.
We've got to find that fine line. You know,
I hear.
anything.
But you know, I noticed all those things that were mentioned. They all have a common denominator. That's discipline.
Yeah,
It is
all of
sure.
them.
So I
of them,
think that's what it promotes. It promotes discipline. So everything you do in life, even if you leave that country now, that's now entrenched inside you. So now when you go to another country, you're going to be very disciplined. You're going to put your sights on something and you're going to make sure that happens because of your just the way it's
But at the cost,
entrenched in you.
but at the cost of your childhood, maybe how much fun you could have had. It's at that cost. It's an expense. It's a trade-off. You know,
Of course it
you,
is.
you are more disciplined. You will maybe thrive more as an adult in a different country. Maybe you have a sense of confidence as well, self-esteem and all that.
Yep.
But it was at the expense of lessened childhood. You know, experience.
That's true.
It is a trade-off for
But
sure.
isn't it better than coming from a war-torn country where you've also given up your childhood there and come and worked
100%.
hard? Do you know what I mean?
It does make sense. A
if you
war-torn
wanna
country
compare
and
it,
a disciplined country like that, 100%. Most
Exactly.
likely, coming from a war-torn country, most cases, any other country was better come from a war-torn country.
Yeah.
So anything is better for sure. Like,
Yeah.
100%.
So everything has its price. That's what I'm trying to say.
It does.
It all has its price.
Yeah, discipline is very important, man. Very, very important. Beats everything. Like,
It does.
Cass,
Cass
fuck,
said it. Yeah.
fuck motivation.
Shout out, Cass.
You need discipline. You agree with that, bro?
100%. Discipline is the foundation of everything. How, as humans, the stuff that takes us to our goals is just discipline. Because we have to do. You probably know yourself. You know, starting your podcast, starting whatever you do in life. At the start, you don't want to do certain stuff. You have to, and you have to do things you don't want to do.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
It's not easy.
Nah.
As humans, as us humans, we just want to relax, kick back. Even if we say we want to do this, want to do that, it doesn't last long unless there's that discipline in you,
Hard work.
and that's the skill itself.
Exactly.
So,
It is, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to keep going. You know, but far, man. So you've been training for a while, eh?
Yeah,
That's
for a long time,
discipline
for a
there.
long time.
How many days in a week you're like, well, I can't be fucked today, man?
To be honest, I see it very differently than many people. Like,
Yeah.
to me, discipline, training is part of hygiene for me.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm walking, if I can walk instead of do something else, instead of driving somewhere, I'll walk if I can. If I don't want to go train, I think of it. Would you ever question yourself, should I go shower this morning or tonight? Should I brush my teeth this morning or tonight?
No, of course not.
Exactly. So why is not training like that too? Whether it's walking for 10 minutes, doing some star jumps for 20, doing some stretching every morning, whatever it is, if you see it as a hygiene practice, then for sure you definitely need discipline. Maybe some days it might be hard, you know, very sore. Okay, take your rest. When it's time to train, it's time to train. When it's time to rest, it's rest. So if you see training as from a different angle, you actually start being grateful that you can train. You know, it's not a question of whether I have to train, I have to do this, I have to be disciplined. It's more like, okay, I get to train. I get the luxury of going to a gym or going out for a walk. You know, many places you don't have luxury. So I have that mentality. I get to train. It's part of my hygiene. I don't care how small or how organized it is. Getting some movement, it's the best.
That's a pretty good way,
Really
man.
good way of looking at it.
Especially coming from a young lad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Not many people your age will say something like that, bro.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty interesting, man.
It is.
You know what I
Very,
mean? It's a good
very
mindset. A lot of people your age need that now.
100%.
Straight out, that generation, fuck. I thought our generation, like my
Yeah.
generation, like, you know, us two, fuck off a little bad. Fuck. Bro, you've got an advantage of this generation.
But
'Cause-
look what's around that generation growing up. You know, the younger, like myself and younger, we got, you know, TikTok, like there's doom scrolling, got the Insta Reels, got YouTube, got Uber Eats. Everything is now and ASAP and non-stop.
yeah.
So that obviously will fry the brain. That will
Yeah,
fry
100%.
the hormones and everything. When something has to come later on, we don't want to do it now. We want everything short term.
Yeah.
If something is like delayed results, we're like, nah, don't worry, I'm gonna relax, sit back, eat my Doritos, get Uber Eats, have my snack pack, and then you have moments of that mad Monday morning 4 a.m. you're getting G'd up, or that Sunday night, okay, it's gonna be a mad week. You have moments of that here and there, you know, even like these younger kids. But at the end of the day, like it's because what society is right now. There's nothing causing them to want to have that delayed gratification and delayed results in anything, business, health, exercise, friends, family, anything.
It's a lot harder for that generation. They're becoming very
everything.
soft. But if you come out disciplined, you'll be at the top quicker. Because there's less disciplined people now than there were 10 years ago.
I think there's enough content out there. It's all about what your goals are and what you want to do. It's all about using whatever you've got there to your advantage. There's enough content out there to show these young kids how the real world actually is. But the problem is they're more interested in the bullshit.
Yeah.
That's
feel like-
the truth.
I feel like there definitely is a lot of self-development, like people that just indulge in that, but there is actually no real self-development going on because the brain gets a sense of happiness or satisfaction when they're just watching someone say certain stuff, you know, certain motivational speakers or certain podcasts, certain speech, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They get a sense of happiness,
Yeah.
like a goal achieved in their brain. But really nothing actually happened. They're just on watching some video.
Yeah.
So why would they go out and actually do stuff now? That's hard. And even discipline itself, it's not about coming out and now I'm disciplined. Before I wasn't, now I am. It's not about that. It's about that constant journey of acting disciplined. You know, it's a journey
certain way.
of being disciplined. It's not about like, it's something that you probably know as parents. It's not about one day you're the perfect parent. It's not that constant journey. It's always trying to be better. Of
course.
You'll never become a perfect parent or perfect adult ever. Same as discipline. You'll never become perfectly disciplined, but you get stronger and stronger and you just get more likely to act disciplined in certain times.
Correct.
Any opportunity for repetition, you do it.
100%.
So taking that opportunity. That's the
Yeah,
discipline
100%,
part.
man. Young guy, man. You're pretty wise for your age, bro.
Experience.
Have you
Not
traveled?
experience.
Have you-
No travel. No travel, but I definitely believe it's all about experiences. You know, you can be 40 or 50 years old, or you can be 25 and experience certain things. Or you can be 40, experience certain things. Experience breeds wisdom, I believe, for sure.
I agree with that. Fools grow old.
Yeah.
Yeah, fools grow old. That's the thing that I go by, man.
I also believe it's not about just what you've been through. It's also about how you react, what you take away from it too. Or how, yeah, you might come out of it in certain ways, better or worse, but also what was the thinking process after and before, even during too. And if you analyze and look at it carefully, and that's why I believe I came out in a way.
Were you good in school?
Yeah, academically, yeah,
Oh, you were.
and sports to some extent.
Where'd you get all this experience? What kind of experiences have you had?
What experiences? Where to start? You know, but
Open it up, bro. Let's go, man.
all of the above is
all
of the above,
I'm
yeah.
interested. How many 26-year-olds do you hear like this?
No, it's like I feel like I've stepped back 30 years into time, and I'm speaking to a 26-year-old back then.
Yeah,
To be honest,
That's right.
and that's saying something.
It's good. It's actually good to know that there's young guys out there that are switched
Yeah,
on.
bro.
It's
Yeah.
good to see that.
Yeah, if you think about it, but if anyone that's been from my experience and my whole life, whatever it may be, my own thinking process will come out certain way. Same for you. If someone's had your life,
Yeah.
your upbringing, your issues, your traumas, your battles, they'll come out like you. You know, that's all it is. We're nothing more than our experiences and our thinking, our reactions. That's what I am.
Give us one of your experiences that have made you wisen up.
The best one I could think probably my son being born, obviously. Yeah.
Good, man.
Because that was also like pivotal, not him being born, not when he was born, but I went inside when he was 3 months old. And when I was in there, although obviously a lot of self-development, a lot of time, you know, a lot of 24-hour lock-ins in your cells, even 48 hours, 72 hours, just in your cell by yourself or with your cellmate. And you have a lot of time to think, you know, you're forced to think. Nothing more you can do. And when you're thinking, you're drawing upon your previous experiences, you're thinking about your future, you're writing stuff down, you just got a book and a pen that they give you the first day. And there's a lot of thinking going on straight out.
How long were you in there for?
3 months.
Okay, so not much.
Very,
bro.
very tiny. I say all the time, I'm not some jabber going in and out for very long. I'm not like some people, I'm 18 years old. I mean, I'm 25 and I spent more of my life inside than outside. No, I'm not someone saying I'm an expert.
That's
nothing,
good.
Nothing like that. Zero. I'm not, I always say I'm up front.
Yeah.
But what'd you learn in those 3 months?
What I do, what I learn,
Boring?
boring. To be honest, it's very funny. Even if I ask people that I was inside with, they'll trip out of how positive I was. I was happy. I told the boys, they're tripping up. Like, bro, what do you mean? We get food coming to us. We got a free shower, free bed. We kick it with the boys. We're training. We've got music, watching movies. What more do you want? You know, I tell the boys inside all the time.
Was that a way to convince? Like,
Sorry?
Was that a way to convince yourself?
But it's almost, I believed it. It's true. Even to this day, it's true. But obviously, like, imagine all of that included that 98% of people in there, they're on some substance. They got issues, like they got short tempers. They hate the world. They're spewing that they're in there, and they don't have the same mentality as me. Combined with all the other things you can imagine in there. In a fights, everyday stabbings, everyone has knives and whatnot.
Can I ask a question? But if you were sentenced, for example, to 10 years, would you still have that same?
Or would it change a bit?
I can't say until that I've been through it. I can't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but at the same time, there are people like that that's been there for a long time. They accept it, and the people that's been there for a long time, from my experience, they're very like calm and mellow. You might be able to imagine because they accept it eventually. It's the people that's in there for like a year, even 6-9 months. They're not even sentenced yet. They're not even guilty yet. They're just in there waiting for the court case, especially drug cases and cases where it involves like syndicates and a lot of big briefs. Some people's briefs are on a laptop, not even on books. You can get like this thick maybe. If it gets like that thick, it just gets a USB. Mine was like this thick maybe.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like people that's in like that and they don't know if they're going to get 10 years or free after 1 year time served, they're the ones doing the hardest.
Yeah,
the ones that once you get sentenced, there's a sense like what I seen.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on.
Sense of closure.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, you've set that. You've got the date. You're actually coming out. You know what's going on. It's different.
Exactly. There is for sure.
Yeah.
What'd you learn when you're inside for 3 months? What's the
Number one thing.
Yeah, the couple of things that you learned that you took and you go, you know what? Let me use this in the real world.
100%. The number one thing that I took from it was that I have nothing to prove to no one. Like nothing, like zero. Besides like my immediate family, I got to prove to them I'm a good person. I can lead them. I can provide, protect, and all that. But besides that, no one else matters. Zero. Nothing to prove. That's one thing. You know, younger people just want to prove, myself included. Prove this. Prove I can have a business. Prove I'm smart. Whatever it may be. All of the above, or just one or two. Prove I'm big, strong. I can fight. All these things to prove. in that jail period, after maybe 4 or 5 weeks, after like I was in there for 3 months. After I remember halfway through, that's when I was like, I actually felt like true, genuine feeling of nothing to prove, and besides to my family.
Fuck. It's pretty good, man.
It is. It's a good way of looking at things.
Very good way, man.
Of course it is.
that you learnt your lesson in those 3 months.
So because then you can.
Some people don't
concentrate on
learn it and they've
yourself.
been in there for years.
Yeah, it's all their own experience, you know. They might not even be in the mindset to learn if they're just on substance all day and they had very bad traumas. You know, I'll never judge anyone in there or even outside that's on substance or they're addicted to anything. I'll never judge because I don't know what they've been through.
Yeah.
Who used to say he used to say that I wouldn't be in their position if I'd been through what they've been through. Impossible. I'll never say that.
Yeah.
What
else did you learn from there? Was there anything else you took that you're like?
You learn a lot about humans, like a lot about people, especially men. You learn a lot about men. You know, heaps.
Yeah.
You can. It's a good place to just you can see from step back and you can see everything around you. Because many times you'll just be sitting in a pod, you can just watch the whole pod. You know, you see people come to the fence up and down. You can see people interact with other people. You can see people talk shit to other people, lies, truths, whatever it is. And I can literally just sit in one table the whole day and no one will say one word to me. I can just watch, you know. Or maybe me and some of the mates will just watch, you know. That's all we do. So it's a good time to analyze people, and anyone that's been inside, they know you got that group. Everyone, probably most people in there that's not hanging out all day, like on the substance, they know you're just sitting with your mates, whether it's outside in the pod, inside in the pod. You can sit on the table and just watch what everyone's doing. You know, see how people react to stuff, see what's like all the stuff happening. We're not doing anything outside. We're not going up to people or not reacting to anyone outside of that, but we're just simply watching and seeing the dynamics of everything, and that you can always take out when it comes to the normal world outside. You use that, you know, and judge people accordingly.
It's good, man. You know, observing body language is very important, man.
Of course,
that's something you can pick up straight away, man.
And a place like that, it's like times that 1,000. You know,
we
have to be very quick. Who's lying? Who's truthful? Who's man of their word? Who's not? Who is someone that is lying about their charges or not? Things like this, a lot of stuff. Even who is going to be dangerous, just being in your circle.
It's survival.
Yeah, because in maximum security, everyone's in maximum. I'm pretty sure until they're sentenced. That's how I know it as. No one goes in minimum like straight away after sentencing. Then yeah, you maybe.
Yep.
So in maximum, like some jails, like Silverwater, you can cut the tension for knife because it's very tiny. Like this area is probably half of the pod, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Far out.
like an area, like the pod, outside pod is very tiny. The outside pod, but it's not tiny. It's compared to how much was in there, and then compared and then multiplied by who's in there. You know, who done what charge, who's bringing what traumas from outside, from the charge inside, who's in what mentality in that. And then the phone calls are happening. What's happening on the outside? So imagine all that in one little place. Everyone's all ages, all backgrounds, and then there's politics on top of that. And there's people hanging out on top of that, and they're all in one little place. So imagine that, you know, you can cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
In Silverwater, especially.
Well, oh yeah. Are you married?
Yes.
How many kids you got?
1 son and 1 on the way, daughter.
Good on you, man. God bless.
Okay.
How long you been married for?
2.5 years.
Okay.
2.5. Yeah.
So you got married at 24.
So I was 25, but yeah, that 25.
How do you think a man should be in a relationship, man? We know, we always talk about this, but we always ask this question to everyone that comes on, man. What do you reckon?
That's a good question. Honestly, a man should be someone that is just not trying to be the perfect person, but is willing to compromise and change for that person. And same other way around too. I mean, there's no such thing as finding a perfect wife. Same goes around too. But it's about finding someone that's worth doing things you don't want to do. That's worth changing and worth being a better person, you know? Because at the end of the day, no man is ever going to be the best person they can be to their wives. And same other way around too. But as long as we both know that we are willing to compromise certain things we don't want to do. Some stuff are hard. Some stuff are hard to say. Our upbringing, some stuff, it's very difficult. But we got to understand that's what they want and they need, many things. So if, as a man in a married relationship, as long as you're always just striving to be accountable for what we do, you know, always trying to be not perfect, but always trying to at least try to be perfect. Try to, you know, but what understanding we never will be. Yeah. But at least be accountable. You know, if we're wrong, we'll say it. You know, if we're sorry, say we're sorry. And if we're happy, say we're happy. You know, things like that. I feel like that's a good marriage. You know, just always going forward.
Communication,
100%. Yeah.
What do you reckon the man's role is in a relationship, bro?
A man's role, there's probably like 3 main ones that is very important. You know, provide, protect, but as well, the last one I'd say is just make sure they're happy. Like actually truly happy. Not like fake, like on post on Instagram in my love of my life. You know, I'm like truly happy, like actual, like content and satisfied with the family, the house, and you being there, like proud of you, things like that. Well, if you can do those three things,
Like your job is to make everyone happy, like the wife happy. Is that what you meant?
I feel like as a man, we have the responsibility. One of our responsibilities is making sure the wife is happy there with us in the house. For sure, yeah.
You know, I've seen a video, because you know how you always ask the wife if she's happy, right? So the guy switched the question around.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And he asked the wife, he goes, "Is your husband happy?" She didn't know how to answer it.
They never do.
She didn't know how to answer
They
it.
never do. They don't think about it. But at the same time, it's us as men. Do we foster them to think about it, or are they too stressed and overwhelmed because of our inactions?
Yeah.
It's always some accountability for the man in certain ways. But this is assuming that this is not some spinner chick that's a full spinner. You know, that's like off with the fairies.
Yeah.
But let's just say like a right-minded, like reasonable female. As men and as married men, we need to understand that we have the ability to foster them to actually think about, okay, is the man happy? And if they're not, we have some role in there too, you know?
Yeah, but I think I personally believe a man's role in a relationship, part of that role is that it shouldn't have, his happiness doesn't really matter. That comes with the role, because you're the leader. Like at the end of the day, you're there to make your sacrifices to do that role, and that role basically, like, everybody in the household relies on you.
Yes, but at the same time, you have to think, yes, man, as men, we do have to sacrifice our happiness in many ways. But it has to be calculated. We can't just sacrifice happiness non-stop, and then down the track, our kids are depressed because we're depressed. You know what I mean? We have to judge it carefully, and there's always a balance, a fine line where it's good for us to be the best husbands and fathers. We need to have some sort of happiness in our life. True happiness, you know?
Absolutely.
And show it too. Not just have it, but show it too.
I agree.
I think that's the happiness, right? If you see your family happy, you get happy. You know what I mean? That's why you do all that.
They got to know too. We can't just be happy and keep it to the dark. Then you know,
No.
that's maybe our older, like in many different generations, they make a mistake. They feel certain ways, they think certain ways, but it's also about showing to their kids.
Yes.
I think guys are the only ones that got to pay to be part of the family.
That's right. Yeah, it's very true that
You've got the women, children, even a pet. They're all free. The guy has to pay to be part of the family.
It's just what it is.
That's pretty much when you look at it. Provide.
We'll never be unconditionally loved. We'll never. Maybe from a well-raised child, maybe like a well-raised child, maybe. But besides that, like, we just accept it. That's what it is. There's pros and cons as being a man.
We don't have that luxury.
Yeah, but we get many pros. There's pros and cons. That's the beauty in the difference, you know?
Yeah,
there's beauty in females and men. The beauty in the difference lies in that.
That's the problem these days, man. They don't see the difference now. They see fucking women can do what men can do, and men can do what women can do. It's like a competition now, man.
Yeah, it's like a
there's
pissing competition. It shouldn't be like that. Like, if men we should know there's many beauties as us being men. Yes, there's cons too. Same with females. There's many, as being a man, we know this. It's the beauty of being a female, being a feminine female, like for a female. There's so many things they can do that we can't do.
But they're just looking at it the wrong way around.
Yeah. But not everyone.
Okay, we can do what you can do. Why don't you look at, you guys can't do what we can do. You know, we can't do what they can do.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
They're very defensive. Many they tend to be defensive, but they shouldn't. They don't need to be.
That's the super feminist.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. But there are females out there. Like don't get me wrong. There are females out there.
No doubt.
Yeah, there's always outliers, but at the same time, like the females do tend to miss the greater picture sometimes.
It's getting harder for the guys, man, to get married these days.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
From like 2021.
You know what? I had a conversation with a young kid at the barber.
Yeah.
Well, I won't call him a young kid, but compared to me, like I've known him since he was a kid.
Yeah.
He's
So
27 years old.
Yeah.
He's 27 years old, struggling to find a woman. I said, bro, what are you worried about, mate? Just go overseas, tell your mum to pick someone and bring her back.
But Australia, those days are gone.
I know those days.
Because of social media
him up.
and all that's opened up now. Now they know the laws better than us. That's why they come here and do the run.
I don't see it like that. If someone, like a man, even in how shit society is right now, especially Sydney 2025, no matter how shit and bad it is, if a man tells me that, I have it all the time, mates and friends and random people say all the time, oh, I can't find girls and rubbish and this and that. I'll say, well, are you the right person to find the right female.
Yeah.
Even like if you had a daughter, would you want your daughter to be exactly with you right now? You know, there is some accountability as men to be the perfect person, be the right person at least, to find the right fit. And it happens. There are people in Sydney that have great relationships but at the same time, because they were that right person to find that right person. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
You can't be some shit bloke going benders every single weekend and doing whatever. That's an extreme example.
Well,
And then find a housewife.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Are you putting yourself in the right position
and being
to
the right
find
person,
the right person?
and being the right person. It's a whole thing to it, you know. That's why it's not as simple as saying, "Oh, it's a shit country, shit area, shit this, shit that, shit age and society." But have a look at yourself. You know, what are you doing, and what have you done, and where are you going?
Yeah, that's true, man.
Does it
That's
add
the
up?
point. Yeah.
But
You can't be a
everyone
degenerate and then expect some beautiful
Exactly.
housewife that's going to listen to you.
Because there are
Yeah,
people out there. There's respectable men out there that have respectable female wives.
I
It's out
agree.
there. So
I agree.
what's stopping it?
But you can't deny that over time it has gotten harder.
It has.
It does,
For sure.
yeah.
And it's gotten more rare to find more how can you say it, like a traditional woman.
Because
what I
the
mean?
dynamics of social media, technology, that's the way what he said.
it's
And as well,
fucked.
it's getting conspiracy theory now, but I do believe there is agendas to make it like that, you know, to corrupt the youth.
I agree with you.
There is agenda because there are people that benefit when females, like when they demonize certain stuff and men certain ways and all this stuff. There's agenda behind it. So obviously there will be like that dynamic. Sure.
I agree with you.
You know who I like? I'm going to say those type of people again, Chinese people. There used to be a show on SBS. I don't know if you watch, it's called Are You the One? Richie, have you seen it? Are You the One? There'll be an Asian guy who'll rock up, straight, there'll be 25 girls lined up, and he'll say it how it is to them, man. It was the funniest shit.
When was
man.
this? Ages ago or recent?
Probably about 5-6 years ago.
yeah?
What the
It was
hell?
called Are You the One, bro? I used
That's
to
all right.
I used to watch it just to be like, nah, she's a bit too big. Nah, she doesn't know how to cook. He'll start sacking
Yeah.
every one of them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it was a ruthless show, bro. Those guys are on another level, man. Those guys are on another level. I just thought about it. I go, fuck, man. Could you imagine those people here? Could you imagine that happening
But
here?
again, that's a
It'll be
cult-
fucking
That's a cultural thing as well.
yeah.
Again, that's a cultural thing because the women over there are very submissive when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They will, based on what the opposite sex says about them,
Yeah.
that's how they'll adjust
There's
themselves.
a standard.
Do you know what I mean? So that's how
Oh,
they measure their standard, and vice versa. But
It is, yeah.
If you think
there's
about
a
it.
standard. Like,
Yeah.
you know, weight, no offense, fucking, because they usually come at me and talk about weight.
Yeah.
But if you go to like poorer countries, no one's big. If you look at photos here in the 70s, no one's big. There was a standard. There was an actual standard. Now there's no standard. Now anyone's beautiful.
but the
But that's what
models
they
weren't
wanted.
super
They
skinny
wanted
either.
us to accept and demonize healthy stuff. They wanted that. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
But
like
you
a war
gotta
on men, war on humans, pretty much, you know,
Yeah.
for their agenda. That's
But
what I believe.
The models weren't super skinny either. You gotta
No,
remember that as
no,
well.
no. Like,
you know what I mean?
Marilyn Monroe.
They weren't. That's what I mean. So obviously you can see an agenda. They've gone extreme to extreme.
Exactly. What they wanted is what they got. They wanted this, you know, they wanted demonized men trying to improve, make females think that, oh, it's okay to be fat. It's okay to do. It's not. As men, it's not. As females, it's not. As
No,
children,
it's
it's not.
just unhealthy.
That's what it is. It's 100%.
It's just unhealthy
It leads
lifestyle,
to
man.
depression, leads to mental health issues, leads to social negative impacts, everything. It's not good.
100%. It's not being about it's not about being shallow. It's
Yeah,
just
it's the way it is. It's life.
you're unhealthy. You'd rather live a fit lifestyle. We could live longer. If you want to have kids, you could play with them. If you're unhealthy, you won't be able to run around with your kids. You can't keep up with your kids.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You throw the ball once and you probably have a heart attack.
By the time they realize it's too late, I've had them clients. I've had them clients a lot. They say, "Oh, it's I just want to run play with my kids." We see that other parents at school and sports days and whatnot, and they regret their 30s and 20s why they prioritized work, why they prioritized Macca's dinners and KFC dinners.
Yeah.
It's majority of people realize eventually, maybe, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
It does, man. It does. It's just fuck. I love KFC, man.
All right,
Like, I
it's
haven't
good.
had it in years.
Yeah,
It's
really?
fucking great.
I
Yeah,
had it last week, maybe.
but I think the
maybe.
last time I had it was when I was with you, when we used to work. I think that was about 4 years ago.
Well, you don't work anymore?
3 years ago. No, when we used to work together. I just find it too. I love it. I just won't eat it because it's too much garbage in it, man.
Yeah.
Bad,
You know
man.
what I
You
mean?
can feel it.
Yeah, straight up.
It's crazy, man. I used to get 2 twister boxes. You know that? I used to get 2 twister boxes.
Yeah.
2 twister boxes,
Really?
10 pack of wicked wings. Yeah, bro. And
Tell us what are you eating? he's thinking rookie numbers, eh? Rookie numbers.
Oh, bro. But it's just important to live a healthy lifestyle, man. You're
it's
right.
amazing, for sure.
It's an agenda now, man. Like to be lazy and be selfish. That's what they've put out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just look after yourself, not worry about anyone else around you. And as long as you're happy and you're not hurting anyone, who gives a shit?
That's right.
It's just a bad attitude. We do lives on TikTok, right? And we're very controversial.
Oh, yeah.
So we usually get banned.
Oh, really?
So we'll get a ban for a week, a day,
TikTok's
a
the
week,
worst, bro.
3
TikTok's
days.
the
It's the worst.
But
So-
I comment, I write stupid or idiot, I get reported. I get like a strike.
Yeah,
Isn't
you get
that
a strike.
stupid?
So we talk about like people's weight, people's healthy lifestyle, women, and we're getting like lately we've been getting reported left, right, and center, man. Like we can't even have a break. Eh?
I think you need to be a bit more diplomatic with your approach, but
Just choose your words. Choose your words instead of saying fact. It'd be like I don't know, like
just say the facts, but
challenge physically or something. I don't know.
not as aggressively as you do.
So
Challenge
that's-
horizontally, maybe I don't know. Horizontally challenge.
Horizontally challenged.
problem
Can't
is
report you for that.
the problem is the people are horizontal that I'm challenging, bro.
yeah.
But that's the problem, right? Like as a man, you can't speak your mind. You
can't.
can. It's not being disrespectful. You're just
Yeah.
being straight.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna tell you now, do I look good in this outfit? And you're gonna be like, well, of course, and you really look shit. And you're gonna beat around the bush to tell me, oh, but maybe if you change this and you change, that's retarded.
Yeah.
You should say it how it is. You're not being disrespectful. If me and you're gonna disagree with something, we're gonna disagree with something. You can respectfully disagree with what I'm gonna be saying, and likewise, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That's the problem now. People don't talk. If you have an opinion, a straight up opinion about something where everyone's on the bandwagon and you disagree, you're like, this is madness. I don't believe in this. Like, let's say they and them communities and all that shit. You know what I mean? If you say it how it is, you get absolutely hammered, especially if you're a guy.
That's right.
I see this. You get absolutely hammered. It's like you can't speak as a man. They call you misogynistic pig or some shit. It's
They've made
crazy.
it.
That's what they wanted. They want it like that.
These people
Yeah.
don't even know what misogynistic means.
Mate,
Straight up.
That's the
done-
crazy part.
what they've done is they've made it about people's feelings
Yeah.
rather than facts. And this is the problem because what they've done, they've
Sorry, bro. Just the camera guy was sleeping over there. I started laughing.
they've weakened people mentally in society to the point where now, instead of strengthening their mental health and making them mentally tougher, they're actually catering to their weakness and going, no, you're not allowed to say this because that hurts that person.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Instead of making them stronger, they're weakening society even more because they're not even allowing you to speak up and say the facts. So people can actually like it doesn't. If you look at it on that scale, isn't that weird? It's like
No,
systematically
you should-
starting to get weaker and weaker.
And then they complain when kids or adults are like weak and not disciplined and they're raising bad other kids and whatever. But that's the system. That's bringing up adults like this, bring up weak adults that raise kids that get bullied or raise kids that are bullies, things like this. So it's like they're setting up a mad system that makes it like horrible, pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
And when people try to fight that, they get demonized. Like you say, you know, you get reported and all
You
that
know
stuff.
what? That's
It's very true.
that's a very good point. As bullies, right? When like okay, so today's society, if the child stands up for himself, he gets in trouble.
That's right.
Right? No problem. Me growing up, when I remember, I'll never forget, I was in kindergarten and a couple of the older kids, you know, kindergarten, you start school and you get bullied a little bit, whatever. I come home crying once. My dad lost it at me. My mum lost it at me. Whoever touches you bash them.
Yeah, self-defense.
Go to the teacher. But then I took it to another level. I started picking fights with kids because I thought, you know, I got the green light now to fight. But
It's a learning curve.
Yeah,
It's a learning curve, you know.
but it does make you stronger. It makes you tougher. It makes you, you know what I mean? Like everything has a price. Yeah, you're going to get in trouble. But you go look at people that are doing the right thing around the world today. They're doing the right thing, but there's consequences even for doing the right thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You got to be
very hard.
willing to suffer the consequences for doing the right thing, regardless. So that's the point. It's not about just doing the right thing. It's about, are you willing to cop the consequences that comes with your actions, but know that you've done the right thing? That's what it's about.
Yeah. But
You know
it
what I mean?
also should be like picking your battles and learning how to do things the right way without a negative blowback at the same time. That's the journey as adults, as even as teens, as men, females. That's the journey. You know, how can we do the right thing without getting that negative blowback? That's that times where we suppress certain emotions or we say things we don't want to say but we have to say. Things like watching our words, things like this. There's ways. There's not every single time maybe, but there are ways to deal with situations where there isn't much of a negative blowback as some might think.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's always a respectful way of saying something. You know what I mean? So that's what it always should be there. The respectful aspect should always be there. But they're trying to actually like really put a muzzle on a lot of things.
But even physically, not just respectfully to say things and to say your part, but also like even physically, there's ways to respectfully go about it. You know what I mean? Like say self-defense, there's respectful ways to go about it. You know, if someone's on the floor, you're not going to stomp in their head.
No, of course
you know
not.
What I mean?
Yeah,
there's ways to go about it, and that way, no matter what consequences happen, at least you know what you did was right. And even times like that, the laws, the justice system in Australia, it's not as black and white as many people think. You know, there are cases myself been in it like directly where police, judges, investigators, whatever it may be, they take your side if you're reasonable and logical and you're respectful as well, no matter what you did, no matter many times. Not every time. It depends on judge, depends on so many things. But it's not as black and white as saying that society now doesn't let us defend ourselves. It's in Australia particularly, you know. To a certain extent, yes, but it is very hard. But that's our journey. How do you do it? How do you learn what's working, what's not working, and us developing, you know. How can I, you know, bash a burglar coming into my house and my family's house inside sleeping? What can I do? You know. It's a big battle as us as men. How can we control our emotions? Even though we want to like kill the bloke, can we control ourselves, or can we subdue him and do what's right in the eyes of the law? Even sometimes if we suppress ourselves, if you don't want to suppress yourselves, okay, go sit in a jail, and who's going to protect your family now? You know what I mean? You kill the bloke and say you done the right thing, but now you're in jail, and who's providing and raising kids? So it's a mad journey.
The law is funny, man, when it comes to self-defense here, because you could. Remember, not everyone's there for justice, right? No offense to the police officer, whatever, but a lot of people do it just for promotion. They could run someone down and get him in jail just to look good.
Probably like 99% of, probably 100% of everyone in certain levels in police, it's all about promotion. They don't target certain criminals because another one might get them a promotion if they get them. They won't target even many stuff. They won't even investigate reports coming to the station because they know that, okay, might help him out, but is this really going to help me get promoted and get their high fives in the office, you know?
100%.
That's very true.
That's the sad part about it. Someone can destroy someone's life just for a promotion.
That's right.
It comes back to being selfish.
It
comes back to how society is being.
And if a police officer is not like that, he gets bullied by a whole other force that everyone else. He gets like exiled pretty much, and then he's putting his compo claims in for bullying, stuff like that. So
it's crazy.
It's very true.
What a society we live in, man.
That's very soft.
I reckon we should have like the caveman laws.
That's just very soft.
Yeah, someone with the rock
survival of the fittest. What do you reckon? That's it, man. Just have a few elderly just do the judging, and that's it. What do you reckon?
But even in then, there will still be corruption. There will still be something. There will still be some issues, and you got to pick and choose what issue you rather have.
But that's human nature.
Human nature, sure. Exactly.
Human nature always will go back to the worst.
Yeah.
Humans can be the best, or they can just be pure scum.
And 99.9% is scum, especially in the leaders and authorities. You know, no matter what civilization, when and where, they're always where there's power, there's greed, there's corruption, there's idiots, there's
where
human
there's
nature.
Opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. There's
so
chaos.
Wherever they see the opportunity, they
well, you hear this stuff about powerful people, super rich people, the weird shit they get up to and that. 100%. You know what I mean? You have these stories about what's happening in. Don't want to say too much, but in the UAE, you see what they do over there with a lot of money. I was speaking to someone about that. There's some evil shit that goes around the world, man. You know what I mean? 100%. And they're the ones that are the lawmakers as well. You know, so
and that's what we see and know. Imagine what we don't know and we don't see.
Exactly.
So it is a crazy world.
And it's a pick and choose type of system. You know, like if you're just a normal man, then the system is for you, and it can go against you and whatever. But if you're a rich person, the law doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in a first world country, second or third or whatever.
Money talks. You know, money talks.
Money always talks.
Civilization.
It's like Epstein. Where's that list?
You know,
they spoke about it and they disputed.
You know what I don't understand with when it comes to the law system. You could go say you could be a millionaire and get the best lawyers in town, right? And go and get a fair trial, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in another case where you don't have the money and you got to go through legal aid,
You're getting hammered.
right? You're getting someone who's not the best in the, you know what I mean, in his field, and he's going to come now and be your defense. But how is that a fair trial when you compare it against another person who's got the money?
Honestly, think about it. You're getting
Do you
legal aid.
understand what I'm
It's
saying?
not
Yeah,
fair.
100%.
It's not fair. That's the word. Life is not fair. So why would the courts be fair?
No, think about it. Legal aid's from the government. You really think that there's going to be a person from the government that the government's funding to
Regardless.
defend you?
I think like
I'm saying
99%
is-
of people who do legal aid, they never encourage going to trial, no matter what it is. Maybe 100%. I think every single person I know.
No, they just say
on legal
plead
aid,
guilty.
Exactly, no matter what
Yeah,
it is.
they always say plead
So
guilty.
you can pay for freedom for sure. A lot of lawyers, they got connections, they got influence, they're in certain groups and whatnot. You can pay that lawyer big money and you'll be out. Or very little time, a couple months, time served, very little time. Crazy charges. It is true. You can just buy freedom in Australia. Influence, power, paying out political parties, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
It's very-
A lot of these
yeah.
people, you see at a court case, I had one a few years back. They've done the court case and he's saying, let's go for a drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You go,
yeah.
wow, fucking,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
paying this guy and now I'm paying for this bloke's drink that he was going against. And this was the guy that was trying to get me charged.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just,
Basically.
it's just
I
one
was
big
lucky. I
gang.
had a great experience. I had a great experience with the courts. Amazing. Like the prosecutor literally said, we agree with the barrister. We agree he shouldn't go jail. So it was actually all right for me.
Yeah.
But seeing everything else happen and my friends and inside,
crucified in there,
no one got as lucky as me, especially my charges. No one goes lucky.
Wow.
Wow. What charges did you have? You don't have to speak about it.
It's public, so it's literally on top of my name. It comes up everything.
Okay.
So charges, they put like 3-4 charges into one very long charge. So it's something along the lines of aggravated, armed with intent to intimidate, and they included enter dwelling, something like that. They wrote it very nicely, where there's 4 or 5 charges in one charge.
Yeah.
So it's like aggravated, armed with intent to intimidate. But they added like enter dwelling, like which means a house, someone resides there.
Home invasion.
Big charge.
Yeah, and then on top of that, ABH and some other stuff. They're like rubbish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're fucking big charges, man.
yeah. It was.
They actually make the charges sound nice, eh?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but they're not. They're actually fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Because it could have been
Yeah,
different
very
charges.
poetic.
Yeah, straight out. They make it like
You're like, oh,
maybe-
fuck, it's not that bad. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
They could have put 2 charges, like aggravated enter dwelling, armed with intent, and then separately like assault and intimidation and whatnot. They just put one big charge and then one small charge of ABH. So assault, occasioning bodily harm, which just means you
Yeah.
got hit. There's some bruises and whatnot, but there's no like broken bones.
It's not GBH.
Yeah, not GBH.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. It worked out well for me. I'm happy. Very
Yeah,
happy.
that's it, man.
It's unheard of, to be honest. So I'm happy.
Yeah. Bro, I see on your Insta that it's a new thing that's happening. You see a lot of the jail stories getting around and that. You started that. What made you start that, man?
To be honest, I just had a vision for my fitness business. More
Yeah.
clients, bigger audience, more reach. I was thinking, who's my target audience, which was pretty much men ages like 19 to 35, specifically 19 to 32-ish. And I was thinking, what are they watching right now? And as well, that on top of the fact, who am I? Like what is my experience and my skills that I can leverage to help like multiply? I can just simply make videos saying, oh, muscle this how you gain muscle, this how you lose fat. Come follow me on my day to day and watch me work out. But where's that going to take me, I'd be lucky to get maybe 1,000 views, maybe. Lucky to do that. But if I just do something different with my skills and experience, with what I can draw upon, and it just happened work out nicely that this is what they want to see and know. And it resonates a lot with who I wanted to resonate with. That's what I found. So it's amazing. It worked out pretty well.
Oh, that's good, man. I see you're getting a bit, you're growing pretty good as well, man, on there.
People tell me all the time, but I don't feel it.
Nah, you do.
People tell me
It's
every day.
you're
and I
always
hate-
probably looking at it and you're trying to grind. That's why you won't see it, but
Yeah.
see from the outside because you pop off. His videos pop off as well, eh? Yeah, that was popping off, bro. That's how we seen you because we didn't follow you.
Yeah, what made you want to get me on? It's honestly,
Bro,
like,
honestly, man, look,
what did you see? What video? What was it?
bro, we just, the thing is, we like we're a very, we call ourselves men on top. Not men on top like that, but it's more like just guys, traditional guys, the values they bring and, you know, like motivation, like fitness is one big thing, you know, a healthy lifestyle, stories like that. Like we're very interested with people like that. We had that J. Malcoon on, ex-mafia guy. We had him on before, how he's changed his life and the experience he's gone through. So this is very important. We always try getting these type of messages out there so guys can actually watch and get it into their brain. So you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, there's good role models out there. You know what I mean? So we look at that, bro. That's what we seen, yeah.
Was there one or two main videos? Was there what hit?
But there's a few
what was
videos
it?
like I like. So when I go through videos, I'll go through like a few of them. There's a lot of them, like what you're speaking about. Let's say about jail, and then I see like you're doing your boxing PT class, you're doing PT training sessions, and like it's a combined, like it's combined content. You know what I mean? And I think it's important. You know, like stuff like this should be out there.
Yeah.
That's why we like bringing guys like you out here, man. You know what I mean? And I think, look, we're not the biggest, but even if we started growing at a bigger level, we'll still always give the people that need to be out there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I believe you need to be out there because you preach good. You're preaching fitness. You have like your good content about what's going on in jail, and that's interesting. So I think, you know, like, I mean, the more people that put you on the platform, I think it's better for you, man. I think why not, man? Why not help the people in your backyard? True, bro?
100%.
Especially like I was very big on my target audience was specifically men. Obviously, there are females too that loves that self-development and great working with them. I got many female clients, but at the same time, who I wanted to target, who are they, and how can I draw myself? You know, so it worked. Like, I was very happy how things happened.
Yeah.
But it comes from a very good place because. Maybe you can talk videos, you maybe see the comments all the time, like, oh, this guy talks about this, he looks like a robot, he's this and that, you know. But the truth is, because I actually don't want to talk about many things, you know. I don't want to talk about jail. I don't want to put myself back in that position. Even all these story times I do, I don't want to put myself back in there, okay, recollecting and visualizing what's happening. I don't want to. But I know, like, especially what happened after all the inboxes and all the comments and all the clients and whatnot, what they tell me in person or messages, that, yeah, it actually is a very positive thing. It is. Even as much as I don't want to, as much, because at the start of the business, you have to do things you don't want to, even maybe throughout the whole thing. This is one of them. And I love doing my fitness stuff and my boxing stuff and whatnot, but how can that go out there if I don't at least get some reach and resonate with the wider audience, and this while doing it the right way? And I'm not going to go out there and clout and beef and whatnot when I can just do it the right way, positive way, because at the end of the day, that's what's always going to prevail, you know, no matter what.
That's the thing, right, bro? Everyone can be a clown.
That's right.
Fucking, we could be clowns. You know what I mean? Like the amount of lives we've done, and you know the content. Anyone can do it the easy way. You could just be a fucking idiot, a spastic, draw shit on your forehead.
And they do. Look at their engagement. It's crazy. Millions, you know, $500,000, $250,000, whatever. Look at them. They're crazy.
Yeah. I just like we could be controversial.
Exactly.
No problem. Like we don't mind being controversial, but being a clown, I could never.
Just making a fool of yourself is not a way to.
It will never win in the long term, or even short term too. People laugh at you. They're not. They don't respect you. They're not gonna.
You're gonna be a one-hit wonder, bro.
Exactly.
They're gonna be like, that's the clown that's being a dickhead.
I'm not even gonna worry.
Can you imagine walking around in public and
that's that fuckwit.
Exactly. Like it's
yeah.
Who would do that to themselves?
Even if you don't give a shit what people think about you, bro, one day your kids are gonna see that.
Yeah, because it's forever once it's on the internet.
I mean?
Look, bro, we like having a laugh. Like we do a lot of controversial stuff, but being controversial, being a clown, for me is two different things, man. You
not
know?
at the expense. Like you can say what you want, be controversial, and tell the truth, but not at the expense of your reputation and your true beliefs. Because at the end of the day, that's what's always gonna
your core values.
Exactly.
That's
your
what it is.
Core values
right? So
need to always be intact,
especially as a man. So, like, if you're gonna be like, I'm 1, 2, 3, and you're preaching about this and this and this, and then 3 months down the track, you're being a clown.
Exactly. Like
that's really tells you
smart
about yourself.
people who actually want your audience to be, you actually want to be around in person or online, whatever it is. The smart people, they can tell very easily.
Yes,
they can tell very easily, and they communicate that too. And like it's the ones that don't, you don't want them anyway. You know, like good riddance, and you understand that it's always going to be there. But who we want and who we want to be involved with, whether it's in person or not, whether it's even professional or just personal, they will always, like, you know, stick around and gravitate towards it. As long as you're doing the right things, respectful, it's purpose behind it and all that. And towards your oyster.
Yeah.
Bro, what are your plans, Sonny? What do you want to achieve, bro?
Personal or professional?
Or both? With the professional, with your whole social media.
I got big visions from day one. From day zero, I had big plans. You know, it wasn't.
Where's Sonny going to be? Are we going to see Sonny fucking? He's training LeBron James' son.
Nah.
We're going to see him over there fucking doing big shots.
Yeah.
What's your main purpose? What's the thing where you're going to be like, I'm happy now?
I can never tell myself what is actually going to happen in a couple of years or even 1 year or 2 years from now, because maybe something might happen and that might change my trajectory for better or worse. You know, I can never say this is what's going to happen, but my goal is from day one was to just pump the fitness business and hopefully one day maybe franchise. You know, then I'm spending my time just making sales and client retention, training my trainers, things while still doing sessions as well. Hopefully, unless I go some other way. But for now, that's what it is. While as well, do some business development as well. I was used to in the past helping other business from scratch, whether they're established already, maybe halfway, whatever it is, helping them too. and
awesome.
mixing both, and whether it overlaps. Whether it doesn't, it doesn't. But I've always been into the development of business and fitness in general, wherever that takes me. And as well, I do enjoy what you see on my pages, like talking about my experiences, how that can help other people, helping other kids. Every day I get messages. I have video calls probably every single day, or even just calls, probably 5 or 10 hours per week, just calls, kids, even adults hitting me up. Hey, I got this happening, advice. Can you ask me this? Can you do this? Or can we meet up and chat? All this type of stuff. And I talk to them a very long time. Some calls go for like an hour, some 45 minutes, some maybe 10 minutes, voice messages, things like that. I enjoy it because they're coming to me from a place that they humble themselves to ask someone. So I respect that.
Good on you.
And at the same time, I know I can help them because almost every single time they say, "Oh, thanks, that helped me so much. I didn't think of it like that." Or that actually, I feel good now. I was down in the dumps for a long time, but now that gives me some hope. Your videos give me a bit of hope and all that stuff. So if I combine, business with that, with the fitness, wherever that takes me, that's where it takes me.
Good on you, bro. Hope you succeed, man.
So you know how to pick them, man. You know how to pick them.
Far, man. It's
Good. That's exactly the type of people we're looking for to get
a
on
good
here.
pick.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Nice, man. We're gonna have all these details, bro. We're gonna have all your details in
I
the
appreciate it.
in all the information, and guys, give them a click. We're gonna have
Have you tried the ice in the bowl and put the face in there?
Oh, the Ashton Hall, no, I haven't tried that one. No.
That's good, bro. I do that every morning.
Is it
Bro,
good?
give us some fitness advice. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But give us some fitness advice for the lazy individuals out there.
Fitness advice.
Give us something that's like for beginners, not for
beginners.
like experts. Some
Yeah.
beginners that's easy for them. Something they could eat and exercise, and it's not going to be too hard for them. What do you reckon? Give us,
Okay, I'll tell you. With my clients,
bro. Can you pass that dumbbell first? I need Sonny holding the dumbbell while he's giving advice, bro. Yeah. It's only 10 kilos, bro.
okay, I'll put it right here. Anyway,
There we go.
Done.
no, yeah. I tell my clients the same thing. Probably 99% of PTs will say, when it comes to them, okay, eat this, train like this, do this diet. I'll speak to you once or twice a week. I'll see you next week in person. Me, not really. Me, I get to know you. Like, we have a good talk about your lifestyle, your obstacles that right now, your current obstacles, past obstacles, your future obstacles that may come. What's making it hard? What's your purpose? Like, why? Why do you actually want to lose weight? Is it your kids? Is it some wedding? Is it whatever it is? Why? Is it just for fun? Is it just to be strong? Things like that. Know your purpose. Know obstacles that might come on the way, because they will. And know exactly what you need to do, but at the same time, know it's not going to be easy. Know there's going to be times you don't want to do some certain stuff, where you don't want to eat certain things, you don't want to train on certain days, but know this, expect this, but that's my job where I come in. That's what I do to overcome obstacles, to be there with you, support you through it, while at the same time being that number one PT that you see at the gym, spotting them, what's safe, how did that form, how do you your meal plans, what to eat, what's best for you. I'm not going to give someone the same meal plan if they don't like certain food. I make it easier. Make it as easy as possible, but at the same time as effective and optimal as possible. Because I want the beginners, they struggle a lot with purpose, with dedication, discipline. They struggle a lot with just starting. So what my plan is, make it as easy as possible to start. Kill off all the obstacles that's stopping them, the excuses, the obstacles, the reasons too. And how can I make it easy for them? And while that's happening, I'm there with you. That's my mentality. So that's the best way to do it. Just know your purpose. How can you make it easy for you? And what do you need to make it easy for you? And then we get into, this is a good way to start. This is a good way to start your diet. Slowly build the long-term habits. I'm not one of them trainers that say, my client lost 10 kilos in 5 weeks, or my guy, he gained all his muscle in 5-6 weeks, whatever. I don't pride myself on that. I pride myself that I'm here to improve their life for the long term, forever.
Sustainable.
Exactly, sustainable.
Slow and steady wins the race.
It's very, very important to be sustainable.
100%.
Because you get a lot of people that go hard for that 6 weeks, 12 weeks.
Yeah, and then
whatever
they
it
just
is.
get over it. They're
They
like,
get the
"Oh,
result they want. They go to the
yeah.
wedding.
They go to Macca's
They
up.
get that done. Now the motivation's gone. The goal's gone. That wedding is over now, right? For whatever the goal was.
It's more like a lifestyle, man.
And then, yeah, exactly. It's about building the
And
lifestyle.
that PT gets that mad progress before and after picture too for his socials.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's all Photoshop.
but where's your clients now, Are your clients happy? They enjoy your time? Do they enjoy the process? Are they passing this on to their kids, what they learn? Things like that. That's what I come in. That's why I know I'm the best, no doubt.
Okay, say if I'm at home now, I've got no weights, I haven't even got that dumbbell. What's some good exercise I could do at home if I don't want to go to the gym? Say I'm not confident in going to the gym, because some people, lack a bit of confidence. They don't like going to the gym. They see a hot girl there, they see a guy that's got muscles. They're like, I'm just gonna leave, man. Don't worry about it, and fuck it. What's something at home that people could do? You reckon that's good for them, and maybe what they could eat?
Okay, how old and
Say they're 30.
30-year-old men?
Yeah.
With like a family life, like reasonable. Like
Yeah,
life?
family life.
Okay, I'll definitely say. Okay, what time is it? Like morning? What time is it? Like a working day shift, coming home at night time.
Let's say he's free after 5 o'clock.
Okay.
He's your normal 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll just say at home, no equipment, no nothing. Get used to stretching, full body stretch. So now, a full body stretch, you build your mobility, bones, muscles to some sort of extent as well, and that gets you in the right mindset to start your session now. A full body exercise, full body warm up means some high knees, maybe some star jumps, maybe some leg swings, some shoulder circles, some trunk rotations, things like that. Get warmed up, but you're still putting work in. You're not just warming up for fun. That's still putting work in. You're loosening up your body. You're improving your body every single way while still getting the session started. And then once the session starts, I definitely would say either full body a couple times per week, some legs, some upper body, some core, a bit of mix of everything, or you can mix it up. Maybe you can one day you can do upper body, the next day the next session you can do maybe lower body. The third session maybe you can do a mix of everything, a little bit of mix, maybe some full body exercises, maybe some upper body, lower body, and then it just comes down to how much you're willing to invest into equipment.
What are some of the body exercises?
That's what it is. They can do push-ups. Simple as that. If you can't do push-ups, use the wall. You can't do wall push. You can do wall push. Everyone can do wall push because you can adjust it based on how close you are to the wall. But you can do it off a table, do it off a kitchen bench, do it off whatever. On your stairs, incline, decline, on stairs, whatever it is. There's always ways to do push-ups. You can't do that. You go on your knees. Progress. There's push-ups. There's planks. Planks are amazing. There's squats, jump squats, so vertical leaps, just jumping up and down.
Burpees.
Yeah, burpees.
Yeah,
burpees
burpees.
are not beginner friendly. And people, it depends on the person, because people get turned off burpees. People get turned off. They might have a mad week or two, even 3, but they get turned off. It's not the best for beginners unless you're very switched on. Oh, not even switched on, but unless you actually like it, you enjoy it.
Yeah.
But things like that, push-up squats, or jump squats, normal squats, lunges, body weight. There's also, I love vertical leaps and horizontal leaps. Just jumping, get down in a nice position and jump as high as you can. Same thing, go forward. Have a good landing, jump forward, go back to back. It's not easy. My clients will tell you it's not easy. These bodyweight exercises, I go to the park. Sometimes they got certain goals. Okay, let's go for a little circuit. Along the lines, will be something depending on their goals and their experience. One might look like star jumps for 20 seconds and go for a lap. When you come back, maybe do some push-ups for 20, 30 seconds. Let's see, go for maybe 2 laps. But I'm there with him. When you go laps, I'm always there with him. Yeah. I'm always there correcting and adjusting, pushing and motivating. And then we just go up and down. You may have pads for them. Are we holding, just go pads, maybe 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, off, and then go for a lap, maybe come back. Things like this. They're very beginner friendly, very easy to do, if you don't have excuses.
For all those lazy fuckers out there, bro, I'll tell you now, man, it's not that hard, guys. Look, that's it. You can start from home. Use the fucking anything and just start lifting. Even chairs, can they get chairs and start doing?
Why not? If it's safe, why not? What's stopping them,
Give us, but what socials are you on? Give us all your socials. They're going to be in the description, but you're on Instagram?
Instagram, TikTok.
What's your social called?
Essential Shaping Strategy.
And that's the same for TikTok?
Yes, Essential Shaping Strategy.
Is there Facebook? Is there other socials as
Facebook.
well?
My stuff gets posted to Facebook straight away. Like I put that setting on, but I don't actually have a page.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I can't even see that Facebook, those videos. I just get notifications, like I'll put react to it, but I can't even see it. I see the stats from it, but I can't see what gets posted.
Oh, well.
I don't have a page. I got my personal Facebook page.
I think you can. You can log in with Instagram.
Yeah,
on the Facebook app?
Instagram on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense because I can see the stats from the Facebook on the Insta analytics, but I can't actually go in and see stuff. I'm curious because I see all the comments and likes and reacts heaps, but I just want to see it, but I don't. But Essential Shaping Strategies on TikTok and Insta.
Essential Shaping Strategies.
It's all going to be in there, guys.
I'm definitely going to give you a follow, 100%.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sonny, bro, thanks a lot, man. Fucking my man.
Yeah,
It's a good
thanks
chat,
for coming, bro. That was
good to
good chat.
It's good to see guys at your age, bro, fucking with your head switched on, bro. Very, very good, man.
No, it is.
It's like a
breath
beacon of
fresh air.
light.
It's
Yeah,
a breath
bro,
of
it's
fresh
very
air,
good,
bro.
man.
It is.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
A lot of the young guys are cowboys, bro.
Nah, full Cowboys.
They're fucking half retarded as well.
They'll either
bro.
learn one day or they'll die one day, or we'll see. They learn, they die, or I don't know, learn the hard way, learn the easy way. It's all on them, and who they have around them. It depends on who you got around you and what got in your brains. That all depends.
Good on you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Done,
The youth need people like you. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you
believe
give
it
them a
was
follow, but we're going to be doing the shorts on this. There's going to be, your face is going to be plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I think that's it for now, man. My man. Take it easy, man.
Thanks for coming, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, all good.